Hello and welcome to part 2 of my March 2014 video game pickups. You probably guessed by now that I decided to get a PlayStation 4 this month. And the reason because there were pre-orders available for the infamous Second Son bundle, which I decided to buy, and for me, Infamous Second Son was the first game that I seriously wanted to get for the PS4, and it was the first reason I wanted to buy one. And that was available for £385. I had a lot of gift cards, one for Christmas and a few for games that I've traded in over the last couple of weeks. So I ended up really only paying about £200, just over that. So yeah, it was a pretty good deal. And I was just going to show you the physical games that I've got first of all. And as you know, like the first one is Infamous Second Son, a game that I've beaten once on the good playthrough. I'm going to go through the evil playthrough soon enough. And yeah, it's pretty good. I will say that if you've never played an Infamous game before, you will probably enjoy it more than someone like myself who has played like the previous two games. It's not that the game is bad at all. It's just that it doesn't really do a hell of a lot new. It does give you like several different like powers throughout the game, whereas in the previous Infamous games you only got like one specific type of power, like being electricity. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Also, it just feels I don't know, a little bit compact compared to like the first two games. It just feels a little bit small to me. I don't know why, but yeah. On the plus side, the visuals look absolutely fantastic. The dialogue is pretty good, although there are some characters that are pretty forgettable. Like the main character, Desmond here, is voiced by Troy Baker, and he does a pretty good job of making the character quite likeable. So yeah, but yeah, overall, I'd say it's pretty good. I feel there will be better PS4 games down the line, but yeah, this is. I thought this was a pretty good start for me. So yeah. And the other game I bought, as you can probably tell from the menu here, I kind of wanted a multiplayer game, and one that I could play with like friends of mine. And we sort of came to agreement and decided to get Battlefield 4. Now I know this game did release as like a whole buggy mess, but seeing as I bought it like a couple months down the line, it's not as bad as it used to be. The only bugs I've encountered is sometimes near the end of games, there's sections where you're like playing in slow motion, which is really odd, and there are a couple of audio glitches where you can't hear the sound at all. But other than that, there's not, and there's a little bit of lag occasionally. But other than that, there's not really a lot that I've encountered that's wrong with the game now, multiplayer wise. I did play a little bit of the single player. It's okay. You know, I do prefer it to Battlefield 3, which might as well start a plank of wood, because that was the personality of all the characters for me. It was just like whatever. But I do I kind of miss the Bad Company series, to be honest, because even though the campaigns were still like kind of meh, at least there was like humour in it, and you know, I could sort of be entertained while sort of playing through a sort of so like campaign. But yeah, as I said, the multiplayer is you know, as you'd expect from a Battlefield game, and but yeah, that's good enough for me for now. Yeah, and as I said about Infamous, there will be better multiplayer games like down the line. Hopefully, I mean, me and my friends are looking forward to stuff like Destiny and possibly Watch Dogs, depending on how that multiplayer turns out. Battlefront 3 for me is definitely one I'm looking forward to, provided EA don't fuck it up like they sort of kind of did with this one. So, but yeah, that's in the future, and hopefully the future will be bright. And now I just want to go through a couple of games I've sort of downloaded digitally. First one being Warframe. It's a free-to-play sort of third-person hack and slash game slash shooter. And yeah, it's pretty decent for what it is. I've only played the co-op sections with friends, and yeah, there's a lot of game modes like survival, trying to sort of save, rescue civilians or political prisoners or whatever, and like sort of hacking certain things, and yeah, it's got a decent mix. There's a great ability to sort of make your own weapons and customize your character. Although being free to play, you sort of have to grind a lot or sort of pay for a lot of the stuff, which is, yeah, it's kind of, well, I don't really like sort of many free to play games that much, but this one I actually did like. So yeah. Next up we have Mercenary Kings. This was the free on PlayStation Plus download for this month, and yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like a mix of Metal Slug meets Scott Pilgrim, definitely in the music, because the music in this game is absolutely fantastic. It's very kind of old school. There's a 4-player like co-op, which you can play online, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's a pretty decent 2D side-scrolling sort of shooter game. And yeah, I recommend it if you've got PlayStation Plus. So yeah. And finally, we have Dead Nation, which is a sort of twin-stick zombie sort of shooter. Similar to, if you ever played a game called I Made a Game with Zombies in it, it's kind of similar to that. It's got the sort of top-down view of like the recent XCOM game, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a 2-player co-op, which is how I play it, because on your own it's kind of dull, but with a friend it is pretty fun. It's fairly basic, but there is a certain addiction to this game, and I probably wouldn't have bought it, but I'm kind of glad I got it on free on PlayStation Plus when I did. So yeah. Okay, and that's all the games I have for the moment. If I decide to get any others, I will probably let you know in a future pickups video. And yeah, thank you for watching part 2 of this March 2014 pickups video, and hope you all have a good day, and take care.